Hello friends and greetings for the day. Welcome back to another tutorial on ISTQB Test Management Certification. We are getting started with the chapter 1, which is managing the test activities. And as a part of this tutorial, we are stepping into the first segment, that is the test process, which have another set of topics. So today we shall be talking about the 1.1, the test planning activities, and we'll just deep dive into what it takes to plan the test activities for a test process. In order to get started, the most important thing is to recall the activities and learnings from the foundation level. Indeed, in the foundation level, we covered that the test planning has a lot of major activities to be conducted by the test manager. But before we talk about that, we would just like to have a quick recollection of what exactly the test process is. If you remember on the major note, the major phases of the testing lifecycle or test process included the planning, monitoring and control, analysis, design, implementation, execution, and completion. At this point of time, we understood that the test planning, monitoring, and test completion, the last one, is major responsibilities of the test manager. However, the analysis, design, implementation, executions are taken care by the test engineer or testing role. So here in this particular segment, we'll be trying to understand that why it is important for us to understand that what are the major phases and how exactly we contribute as a test manager to this. So when we look at the content, the very first segment is talking about recalling this past experience of understanding that what are the major phases of the life cycle, which we have pretty much covered as a part of our life fundamental, that is ISTQB Foundation. But at the same time, we must understand that the activities are supposed to be tailored to different SDLC activities as well, because one of the principles of the common SDLC practices says that every development activity must have a corresponding testing activity, which only makes sure one thing, that testing team is aligned to that of SDLC activities and being prepared with all their work products by the time they reach the execution. So it's not that when the development gets completed, we start with preparing on testing. We particularly get started in parallel much early in the life cycle. Further to add here, of course, the syllabus says that the test planning, monitoring and control and completion are the major responsibilities of the test manager as a part of the life cycle. Here, test planning on a high level is defining the test objectives, the test approach, scope, resources, the schedule, the deliverables, and the test participants, which may include the testing stakeholders as well. Whereas monitoring and control are all about tracking and keeping an eye on the ongoing test progress, monitoring and capturing the test results, and observing any deviations. As and when deviations are observed, the corrective actions are taken appropriately to make sure that we get back to the plan. And as a part of the same phase, we look forward to continue reporting the test status and outcomes to all the relevant stakeholders. And when it comes to completion, it is more important for us to understand that this is the final activity of the test process. Here we finalize and archive the test artifacts, evaluating the test process and the test products, identifying the test process improvement actions, and communicating the test closure to the relevant stakeholders. So indeed, this information has been taken from the specific ISO or IEC standard, that is 291192 standard, which defines that the test management processes, which basically covers these management activities. And the management process can be applied to different levels of testing, such as project, program, and portfolio. So on a very high level, we just understood that there are some of the things which we already know from the foundation. And as a manager, this becomes our key responsibilities at this point of time in the entire process. However, it's not that when it comes to analysis, design, implementation, and execution, we do not have a contribution at all. Don't forget, planning is one of the phase and completion is one of the phase, but monitoring and control is a consistent activity which happens throughout the life cycle. That includes analysis, design, implementation, and execution. So no matter it is a testing team responsibility to take care of these phases, the manager shall be responsible to monitor the ongoing progress and take appropriate control action. Further to add on this particular one, we would be looking forward to understand a deep dive of what exactly happens in the test process. So when it comes to the test process, we already know that the test process talks about determining a lot of major things, which includes things like defining the approach, defining the strategy, talking about the resources, the various artifacts we create, what kind of tools we'll be using, how much automation will happen, determination of entry and exit criteria, and many more things, right? So as a part of the test plan, we look forward to determine them. But further, if we try to deep dive and recall that when it comes to traditional model, we told you that planning happens once for the all in the beginning, but of course, there's always a scope of replanning as and when and a deviation is observed, or even if you talk about a control action is being taken, or there's a change in the scope of the project or activities, then replanning can certainly take place. And replanning is certainly being referred to revisions in the plan. However, we don't strongly recommend that you should revise your plan quite often, but as and when required, we should not ignore it as well. But on the other side, if we talk about agile methodology, the managers would have multiple participation. However, it can be multiple participation of the manager or the team, because in agile team, we say that we don't have managers, but the testing team can present that, or a test manager can be externally present to the team to support with the test process planning and determining what exactly needs to be done at what point of time. So when it comes to agile methodologies, we do it in different parts. That is, we do it once for release planning and once for iteration, which is basically the sprint. So yes, the activities might be repeated for the release in the beginning, and the same activities can be performed, or some different activities can also be performed. For example, estimating the testing task does not happen during the release plan, but happens during the sprint planning. But determining the product risk, project risk can happen at the release plan and also at the sprint level, which you're targeting, that how will you be mitigating it, right? So now let's deep dive with more important and critical activities, what a manager should be taking care of during the beginning, that is at the time of planning. So here are some of the listed activities that what are the more important tasks of the test manager during the test planning. So number one is, of course, understand the context and organize the test planning. Understand the context plays a very vital role, because testing is context dependent. If you remember, principle number 6 said that clearly, that testing is context dependent and it varies depending on several factors. Can be SDLC, can be your organization policies, can be an external standard which might be driving it, or could be a number of reasons, like what is your product, what kind of domain you belong to, or what this product is going to cater, what is the safety limits of that or safety level of it. And based on those factors, you may have different standards and different levels, different techniques to be followed. So that's where the context becomes very important. The very first and foremost thing is understand the context of the organization, which may include things like policies and strategies as well. The scope of the test and the test items, which includes the product, a work product being tested, and is critical for the test planning. This also involves all the activities needed to organize the test planning development and to obtain approval to those activities, and the schedule by the stakeholders, because we will have to align them to the different activities which are happening in the SDLC, which certainly means one thing, that every development activity has a corresponding testing activity. So we must know when these test activities to be conducted as a part of the SDLC. Don't forget, SDLC, which is software testing lifecycle, is not an independent activity which happens completely away from the software development lifecycle. It happens somewhere within the software development lifecycles. So we need to make sure that we are aligned to that. However, about the context, we'll be deep diving in 1.2 a little more. So that's the next tutorial. But for now, we'll just say that there's something called as context, which we have to worry about. The second important point here to talk about is, of course, the identify and analyze the product risk. We already know from Foundation a lot about it. And here we start risk analysis, which are involving about identification and assessment of the potential impact and likelihood of the product risk as a part of the test planning. Not to confuse, we have two types of risk, product risk and project risk. Project risk are mainly handed over to the project managers, whereas the product risk is mitigated by conducting the required amount of testing. So yes, we must consider all the identified risk into account. And at this point, you can determine the impact and likelihood, which will bring back the level of risk. Let's add further to this. Of course, the next one we have is the identify risk treatment approaches, because once we have got the level of risk, the next step is what exactly we can do. If you remember, we discussed in the foundation level that there could be any such thing, any such activity which we can use in order to mitigate a risk. is all okay. Like you can apply a particular level, maybe follow a particular approach, or maybe define a particular technique, or even do anything else other than these defined standards of testing, which can help you to mitigate risk. For example, if you need to hire a risk consultant to do this better, please do that. If you have to hire a performance test engineer to do mitigate a performance risk, then do that. So it's not that hiring is not a mitigation action. Attending a training is not a mitigation action. Any such thing which can help you mitigate the risk is a mitigation action. So we need to define those activities or identify those activities which can help us to mitigate it. The next important thing here is to define test approach and estimate and allocate the test resources. So based on the organizational strategy, regulatory standards, and any constraints given by the project or the risk treatment approaches, the test approach is defined for the current scope of testing. And we'll be talking about the strategies in our upcoming segments 1.4. When a test approach is defined, it is important to estimate the required test resources such as staff, tools, environments, data to allocate these resources to the activities. So we should not underestimate that it is very important for us to do the allocations on different estimates. Of course, when it comes to estimates, we do talk about estimating the overall testing effort, but of course, doing it together may not be possible. So we will have to break this down into simpler activities, like what kind of resources we need, what kind of activities we'll be conducting, what kind of levels will be done, and how much effort will that take. So each thing, be it about writing test cases, environment preparation, data preparation, executions, every single thing is estimated as a dimension, and we put together that as a test estimate altogether. And also define an approach to achieve it. So what kind of approach would be required to achieve the goals of testing which you want to achieve for that particular product. And finally, to add here, the fifth one we have is establish the test plan. Now, given that you have considered all the factors, what you really need to take into account, you can now go ahead and define the test plan which will be accepted by the stakeholders, and therefore disagreement between them should be settled. And again, we just want to remind you that the test plan might be created by the manager, test manager, but it's not that the test manager is only the person who approves it. You may have to get it aligned with the other stakeholders that, hey, this is what we are planning. Are you okay with that? And are you going to, suit or kind of like fit into this kind of schedule? Are we interacting with you at the right time? Whether my team will be really required at this point of time in the life cycle, or will you be providing us the inputs? For example, if I have to do test analysis where I have to start reviewing the work products like requirement, design, or anything, then I have to let my business analyst know that we need this document by this date to start understanding the basis. And if the business analyst does not agree to that, we can amend the plan or we can further have a discussion. But point is, we want stakeholders' acknowledgement on this plan, without which we cannot proceed. So in single line, test plan is a document which describes every single activity with respect to what, how, when, who will be doing that, and what is your scope of work. And at the same time, you take the approval and acknowledgement from every other stakeholder that they align to that and they agree and understand what you're planning altogether. So this is the first segment of it, and that's all from this particular tutorial team. We shall be getting back to you with another one. Should you have anything else, feel free to comment below. I'm always there to address your queries and answer them well. Till then, keep learning, keep exploring, keep understanding the context. Thanks for watching the video, team, and happy learning.